Hi, YouTube. Dylan MTG here. We're going to be going over the green-red version. Even though it has multiple lands, it's green-red for the new no-land Belcher list. I'm going to be just doing kind of a quick little touch base on lines of play. What we'll do is, honestly, we'll just go in and play test the deck a few times, which is in Tapped Out, a really cool feature here. And we'll run through like easy wins. Honestly, let's just get into it. It'll be the easiest way to do it. So here we go to play test. And right here, for example, this is a turn 2 kill. I'm sorry, this is a turn 3 win. Turn 3 win, sorry, I didn't mean to do that like this. So, and what I mean by that is, so these are untapped lands, right? So we had to go with either one. We can go with Shatter Skull or turn there. Then we get a player Cantor. Or we can choose to wait on the Cantor, which is actually the better play. So we wait on the Cantor. So I'm going to be running through this as myself. So you wouldn't want to do that because then it could get killed. And so, for example, so now we go to our next draw. So we play Shatter Skull. We get to play Desperate Ritual, Cantor out off one of the red, sack for a green, and then recross. So what recross allows us to do is to reveal cards from the top of the library into reveal a land card, and then we put that card into our hand, or I mean we put that card into play, and the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. That's the key term here, is any order. So since we just cast recross on turn 2, we have no lands in our deck. Now we had to go search up, conveniently we have one in our hand so I can kind of run through it. So now we get to go stack our deck in this order, and this is just a very generic Reforge package is what we call them. So what we do is we have 2 Reforges in the deck. So this Reforge is going to be put on top of our library, and then the next following 7 could be a number of cards, but the easiest way to explain it would be 2 Simian Spirit Guide, 2 Desperate Rituals, 2 Pyretic Rituals, or 3 Desperate Rituals, however many, but you have to have at least 2 Desperate Rituals so you can splice, and then you go into a Belcher. So that's 6. So if you have 4 Rituals, 2 Simians, and a Belcher, that's your 7. So what happens is you Reforge, Miracle it for 2, draw 7. Now you have your full hand, so you get to exile 2 Simian Spirit Guides, Ritual, then Desperate Ritual, splicing the other Ritual, casting Ritual, and then you can cast Belcher and activate it all at the same time. There's also the lines of play where you're going to go Reforge, specifically in this version, because in this version we're playing Ironcrag Feet. Where you at? So Ironcrag Feet, 1 triple red sorcery. You could add 7 mana to your mana pool, and then you can cast 1 more spell this turn. So conveniently for us, Belcher is 4 mana to cast it, and that's our last spell. But we still have 3 mana left over, so we can activate Charbelcher. And again, every time we activate Charbelcher, barring our opponent having nothing, basically, even if they have responses, it doesn't matter because of the way the stack works with this card. But we're going to kill them because we have no lands in our deck. And Belcher flips cards until we hit a land, reveals cards until we hit a land, just like our Recross the Paths, okay? So that's like the most generic way to do it. So here, for example, this would be a turn 4 kill technically. So we get to play this tapped, go to our next turn, we drew this. So now we can choose to play this on, So now we can play Shatter Skull. It doesn't really matter here, actually. We can't play Belcher here. Otherwise, we'd be able to. We can Morphose and try to hit another Ritual or a Simian. So we hit another Ritual. So now we get a Ritual, play out the Belcher, and then we go to turn 3, play our untapped land, and boom, Belcher, they're dead. So that was another turn 3 kill. Okay, so we can restart this, try it again. So here again. So here's a really cool one. No, we don't have green mana. I'd still keep this. Not having green mana. If we had a green mana here, we could turn 1 recross, but that doesn't. And then that allows us to set up a land and then the Reforge. So we'd still be able to cast our recross, so it can't be like discarded or anything of that nature on turn 1. But we'll play it out like we don't have that. So we play the Valakut's Awakening tapped. And then we get a draw, so we drew another recross. So now we have choices. So now we have a Crag and 2 recross in hand, But now we have choices. Now here we can go Shatter Skull and A, either pass, or B, we can go Simeon Ironcrag, Simeon Ritual Ironcrag, Reforge, draw a whole new 7 and try to set up for a whole new kill next turn. So this is turn 2, so we'll try that for like experimentation. So we go boom, boom, Ironcrag. We have 7 mana, so we cast this. So we discard this. These are tapped, and we draw 7. 1, 2. Okay, so we drew 7, and now we have. So this is like a bad 7. But we get to cast one more spell here, so we'll go ahead and cast the Cantor. Go to our next turn. So like this right here is just not a very good one. So this would have been probably a loss, but we have lots of other options. Like for example, if we didn't do this first, and we cast this, which is a very relevant card as well, because this allows us to put any number of cards from our hand to the bottom of our library and then draw that many cards +1. So this card itself also allows us to loot really hard. So let's just say we lost that game. You know, you're not going to win every game, obviously. Okay, here's a dope hand. All right, so now we get to go turn that to there, and then this turn we went on turn 2 here, obviously barring no interaction, but our goal is to just create, you know, like if they Inquisition us though, we still win. So if they Inquisition us, they take like a Desperate Ritual. Cool. Our turn, we drew that ritual, so we go ritual. That's 4 mana. This is gone. We get to cast Ironcrag. Boom, boom, dead. Turn 2. No big deal. just no big deal, you know. So there's just tons of lines of plays here. Again, here's another example of something pretty cool. So here we have 2 choices. We could cast Recross here and or go for the Ironcrag. Personally, I would wait, because if we get to just cast Ironcrag into Belcher, we win. You know what I mean? So instead we just cast like this, and then next turn, boom, boom, sack, tap, that's triple red, green, 7 mana, boom, turn 2 kill. You know what I'm saying? Like this is so much fun. Here again, just another great hand. We get to start with a tapped land there. We draw for turn, player untapped land. We get a ritual. Cantor off the ritual for a green mana, recross. Turn 3 win. Because we stack Reforge on top. It allows us to miracle it, draw our 7 cards, and like I said, we call them recross packages. So for example, let's say a couple of scenarios are, we assume our opponent's going to have counter magic, so we can do multiple piles. So we can either go Pact Negation on top and then Reforge, so that way we can Reforge the next turn with a Pact Negation backup, or we could go Reforge, so that way they counter the first one, we get to do the second one. So we have lots of options here to layer out our Reforges, you know what I mean? So, you know, if we assume they have, let's say they have Karn out, well, then that's a different scenario. Now we have to figure out how to kill Karn first, whether it's going to be creature beats. I think, does this hit Planeswalkers? Yeah, so Shattering Skull is the other reason it's so cool. So now we just get to ramp up Shattering Skull the Planeswalker, and then we can try to go for it. You know, there's literally tons of ways to do this. You know, and if we go to the sideboard, this is just the sideboard as of right now. You know, we got 4 Chalice, 4 Blood Moon. This is one of the people in Discord's list right here that we're working on. He's got a Nature's Claim, 4 Lightning Bolt, Dream Salvage, Pact Negation. You know, so if like we know they have Karn, we can pretty much put in the bolts. If we get a recross package out, we get to put like double bolt to kill a Karn, you know, off a ritual to set up for the next turn win, you know, or something of that nature. There's definitely all kinds of ways that we can make this happen. You know, if we feel like it's a leyline format where we have so much hand disruption that it's not really good for us, then we can just go ahead and put in leyline sanctities. Our board's going to be really flexible because we're running 2 Pact Negation main. We have 1 more on the side. And again, those are really for either, you know, you just happen to have one and or for recross piles. So other lines of play, because I'm just going to keep rambling on, I apologize, but this is just the best way for me to get these out. I'll probably have them written up when I get there. But for example, Belcher. Let's say we can't attack them. Like we can't, they have the ley line out, for example. Okay, well, now we just get a Belcher every single creature they play. Every single creature. Because we can just, and the thing is with Belcher, it's the same thing as Recross. We have no lands. So if we shoot their creature, we just get to stack our deck. And since we're playing this type of a deck, we can actually go ahead and do things like with our spells. It's just really good. Being able to get a bunch of creatures possibly, you know, with like Simian beats. It sounds silly, but those are how you win in those scenarios, because you force your opponent to have interaction. And then again, that could be our sideboard worked up. We could be running Empty the Warrens. We could be running all kinds of stuff. Like for example, this is the Jund prototype here, which I'm going to do a video for here in a minute. So, but you can catch that in the next one. So, but yeah, this is what I got. I'm going to do a write-up on this. If you're more interested in this type of a thing, let me know. I can go ahead and just do a full write-up, which I should be doing anyways. I'm going to be streaming a lot of this deck when it comes out. A lot. I don't feel it's a bannable deck because we still have Neoform, and look where that's at. You know what I mean? So people just adjust even just a little bit, and we're in. You know, a force still stops us. All kinds of stuff still stops us. So, you know, we're going to be taking so much life with the bolt spells that even just like a really aggressive start from a prowess deck can easily put us on tilt. You know, they could be killing us turn 3 pretty easily, like, because they can kill us turn 3 in general if they have a good rip, you know. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be good times. I think it's going to be really fun, and we'll be seeing what we get. So if you like this and you want to see more more play tests of this ran through, just let me know in the comments down below. And if you like to see more content like this, please let me know. Like, subscribe to my channel, help me grow. We're trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. And yeah, awesome. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.